Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Friday, November 28th, 2025. I am Dave Biddle, very happy to be joined by Mr. Jonah Booker. It is go time, my friend. The game is tomorrow. Let's go. It's going to be maybe snowing in the second half. Looks like the snow's probably going to hold off till, if anything, the fourth quarter, but we'll see. Things can change. I just can't wait for this game tomorrow. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, man. It feels like before Christmas, man. It's one of those days where you're looking at it and you're saying, "Hey, if Ohio State can, if they can handle their business tomorrow, Dave, things are looking extremely rosy, scarlet color roses for this team." So I'm very excited, man. I can't wait.
I know it's just I literally have it circled on my calendar over there. I actually have a physical calendar, and I've had it in Sharpie circled since it turned to November. I've just been counting down the days till November 29th. We're one day away. Absolutely can't wait. All right, let's get on to brass tacks. Let's get our predictions out there. Buckeyes are favored by 10.5. The over/under is right around 43.5, I think. All right, so let's see what we got here. All right, we're gonna go 3, 2, 1, and we're gonna announce our predictions. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
28-14.
Oh, we're almost exact. I got 27-13.
We're right there on the money.
Bam. Love it. On the money is exactly right. All right, let me edit this bad boy. Put yours in there. I love it. Yeah, so we both have Ohio State covering. We both have the under. You have it barely.
Yeah.
OSU 28-14. All right, let's go. Yes, what's your confidence level? Let's start with JJ. The more confident of the two, I think. What's your confidence level he's going to play tomorrow?
I'm at a 10. I think he's going to play no problem at all. I don't think he's 100%, but keep in mind nobody's 100% at this time of year. So I truly believe that he's going to go. I even think that Carnell Tate's going to give it a go, Dave. Right now,
Yeah, I put it out there that early in the week that I had sources telling me that he was expected to play. Didn't mean he was 100% going to play, but he was expected to play. That's still what I'm hearing. I think he'll be on a pitch count if he does play. I don't think JJ will. I think he's going to go out there and just play till as much as he can.
Yeah. Julian Sands headed up to battle up north with his 2 nukes at his side, Dave. And Mrs. Sanchez, she got the blowout 42-10. Woo.
Like it. I like it. There we go.
Like it.
Not messing around. Messing around.
Yeah,
man, if they win by 1 point, that's all we care about. Just win, baby. Let's go full Al Davis. Just win, baby. I think Carnell will play, but we'll see. I have no doubt JJ is going to play.
Here's how I'm looking at it, Dave, and we talked about it. 21 points is my magic number. If Ohio State gets to 21, they win this game. I don't think Michigan's offense has the capability to score more than that. And on top of that, if you listen to what some of the players have said, even Bobby Carpenter had retweeted one of my tweets when I had mentioned about just joking about the defense's simplicity that the Michigan media is saying. Bobby Carpenter said, "I can't wait until everyone gets to see the full Ohio State defense on display." And if you listen to some of the players, Matt Patricia is going to unload some stuff on Bryce Underwood that he has not seen before, not even on tape. So I'm very curious to see what that's going to be. And if you listen to Ryan Day, he said they need to feel Arvell Reese's presence because he's kind of been in the back shadows these last 2 weeks because they haven't had to use him very much. There's been a lot of rotation. Now you unleash the beast up in Ann Arbor. I'm so excited about it, man.
Heck yeah, man. And I think we talk about Ohio State's defense being the best in the country. It is. I think it's just the best unit in the country, period. Like whoever has the number 1 offense, I think Ohio State's defense is better than that offense. I don't even know off the top of my head who it is. I just know that Ohio State has the best, not just the best defense, the best unit on either side of the ball in the entire country. And that's what gives me confidence tomorrow, despite the fact it's at the big house, despite the fact that there might be a little bit of a mental block going up there. But I think Ohio State's going to take care of business. Best unit in the country, best defensive coordinator. They're loaded. And I even like the rest of the coaching staff on defense a lot. I think we're going to see a lot of 3 linebacker sets tomorrow with Peyton Pearson there.
three linebacker sets, and on top of that, Dave, I thought it was fascinating. Somebody, one of the other beat reporters, asked Matt Patricia about this, and he was like, "Just calm down, man." I've game planned against Tom Brady in practice, and game plan against Super Bowl Hall of Fame MVP, MVP candidates, Super Bowl MVP candidates, and stuff like that. And he's just like, "We got this, man. We're all right." And just Matt Patricia giving off that kind of confidence, it kind of makes you feel like, all right, they're going to do this. I'm curious to get your thoughts. You were there all week, listening to Ryan Day, listening to the players talk. What do you think about their approach this week? How they kind of say, hey, we're not going to go crazy. We're not going to spaz out because it's Michigan week. We're going to treat it kind of as business as usual. And when you listen to Ryan Day's press conference earlier this week, he seemed very chill, very confident. And there were a lot of things that he said in that press conference that really caught my eye. Once you hear Ryan Day say things like, they got that look in their eye, there's a bounce to their step, players are coming in on their own for extra meetings. When I start hearing things like that, I'm like, whoo, I kind of sit up straight, and you just get his kind of persona. But I wanted to get your take because you're there in the front row, right up there in the mix, getting the front side, courtside view of the press conference and everything.
That was my vibe too, JB. It was like I said this after the press conference when we did our instant reaction. It's almost like Ryan Day knew something no one else knew. Like he just had that quiet confidence in there, as you mentioned. He's never cocky, but definitely did not seem tight at all. It reminded me of how he was before the Oregon game last year, the second Oregon game, the Rose Bowl, I should say, and just how he was before the Notre Dame game, just locked in, but still, confident. And I agree with you totally, man. And as far as the routine, I mean, when I hear let's treat Michigan week like any other week, I immediately have John Cooper flashbacks, but he's not saying this is like any other game. That's not what he's saying. He's just this routine works for us. Why are we going to go on lockdown all week, not make our players available to the media? We're going to treat it the same as right down to media availability, right down to taking it. This is the first time I think Ohio State's ever flown. Maybe they have done it before. I don't remember it ever happening. They typically take the bus up there. They're flying up there, which will give them a little extra time. I feel bad for the people in Bowling Green who stand on the overpass at I-70 and wave to the Ohio State bus every 2 years. They won't get a chance to do that. But overall, I like it. When Patrick asked us in the staff roundtable that we're going to publish later today what we thought of it, my answer was, ask me after the game. I'll let you know what I think of Ryan Day's strategy here to keep things but I get it. I see what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah. And Sonny Styles kind of echo that sentiment as well. They wanted to keep things as the same because Sonny said we play our best when we're keeping our routine the same, and that's kind of the mode that they're operating in. So, and you're right. I said that in my staff predictions and write up as well. Let's talk about it after the game. If it works, then great. But I don't blame him for trying something new. And the other thing that really stood out to me is he didn't come in with the mindset like he said last year, you have to win the rushing battle to win this game. He's pivot off that. So that tells me that he learned from his mistake, and his mindset is do what you need to do in order to win this game. And you need to have Ohio State being his best version of Ohio State. So if that means that Julian Sain is throwing 35, 40 times a game, and it's not so much, and here's the thing that the Michigan media they don't get, and they always try to say this, and it's disingenuous. They say, well, he threw the ball 30 times last year. Well, it's not the fact that he threw the ball 30 times, is when you look at the sequence of plays, it was so out of whack. Run up the middle on first down, run up the middle on second down, obvious passing down on 3rd and 8 because they weren't able to get anything. And so you were consistently by playing behind the sticks. That wasn't the way Ohio State's offense operated at all last year. They were a pass team that sets up the run, and it was vice versa last year. Now this year, how will they come out with the game plan? I think we're going to see some tempo this year. And I harp back to when Ryan Day said probably 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when he says that they have yet to really open up the throttle on this offense. And once they do it, everybody will know. I think the time has come to where they're really going to open up the throttle. I think it's one of these situations to where he wants to really get this monkey off the back. I don't care if they show some stuff potentially to Indiana. This is a must-win game to get to Indy, to even play Indiana. So hey, the stuff that we've had tucked away that we haven't thrown on the board for Michigan to see on film, let's go out there and throw it and see how they react. It's going to be a chess match. Now, Michigan's a good football team. Don't get me wrong. They're going to try to play this game in a phone booth. And here's the thing. Sharon Moore knows that their path to victory is very narrow. It's up to Ryan Day not to fall into that booby trap again. And if he doesn't fall into that booby trap, they'll be all right. They'll be good.
I've been thinking a lot about tempo too. I think you're right. I think I hope, and I think he will, him and Brian Hartline and the rest of the offensive staff, they're going to use tempo almost like a baseball pitcher uses a changeup,
Yeah.
Mix things up. Use your fastball, but you got to throw in some curveballs, some changeups, some sliders in the dirt. Sorry, if slider in the dirt is a little too it's a little too close to home for my Cleveland Guardians fans out there. First pitch in the dirt. Oh, don't make it that obvious. Come on.
I know.
Come on, Class A. Don't make it that obvious. But yeah, man, I think they are going to use some tempo tomorrow. But their calling card has really been like to kind of slow it down, use a lot of motion, get certain matchups that they like before the snap. But I agree, man. Use some tempo tomorrow. And then, hey, go ahead. Yeah,
this is the reason why you went slow all year,
right?
You went slow tempo all year to get to this point. Now the time is to pick it up. Our friend Zach Smith and Chris Drew with the Menace guys, I thought they actually made a very good point about Michigan's second team defensive line. When Michigan likes to rotate a lot. So when that second team defensive line comes into the game, the production from their pass rush and getting after quarterback really falls off a cliff. And Chris had asked, like, hey, wouldn't that be a really good time to go tempo once that Michigan rotates that second team? And Zach was saying, yeah, that is a perfect time because you at that point, if you can go tempo with that second team unit, Michigan's D line in there, and they have a situation where they can't get them off the field, that right there is right for the picking because now you're tempoing them to death. They can't get that second team unit off the field. Now you can pretty much open up the playbook. If you can stay ahead of the chains on offense, that right there is going to put a lot of pressure. I mean, USC's laid out kind of the blueprint on how to put them in a blender. Michigan is not built from playing from behind at all. They don't want to do it. They want to play you in the phone booth. If they get up on you, they're the type of team that, just like a UFC fighter, they're going to jump on you and they're going to try to pound you if they can get on top of you. However, if you force them to have to play from behind with a freshman quarterback, and now you allow Matt Patricia to go hunting with the big dogs, they're in trouble. They're in big trouble. That's why I say it's very, very big for Ohio State to start fast and jump out on them early because now you're forcing them out of their comfort zone because this is do or die for Michigan. They have an outside shot to get to the Big Ten championship depending on what happens between Washington and Oregon, and that's a very tight line, surprisingly. So now if you're Michigan, you start to panic to say, uh-oh, we're down. What's our true freshman quarterback going to do? And he's going to put up a couple of those hospital balls or because he's known for it. He's going to throw a couple of hospital balls or he's going to overshoot some way or somehow. Like he's going to throw a couple turnover-worthy balls. He's done it every game this season because his footwork has not progressed like a lot of people thought it was going to progress. Like he hasn't really taken that next step as a thrower that a lot of people thought he was going to do. So there's going to be opportunities for the defense to create some turnovers. And if you can get this offense on a short field, they're going to be cooking.
Buckeyes could get up 2 scores, even if it's 10 points. If they can get up 2 scores, I think it's lights out for Michigan. Lights out.
Yeah.
I mean, I like you're saying, like, if you get them, even if Ohio State scores an early touchdown, I'll be supremely confident they're going to win this game. You're right. You get Michigan down, you can put them away, especially with what Matt Patricia is going to try to do to Bryce Underwood in this offense. Very one-dimensional offense. Now, Underwood's looked better, I think the last few weeks as a passer, but he's not seen anything like this. But this will be the best team Ohio State's faced. I think Michigan's better than Texas, especially considering the playing them at the big house instead of playing them in Columbus. All the the mental stuff with it, with the game and everything. Just Michigan's style of play, how they can run the ball, they play tough defense. But man, you better not be you better be a fantastic offense overall to be able to like go at this Ohio State defense. And if you're a one-dimensional offense, this could be a long day. But it's the Ohio State-Michigan game, so I'm not sitting here predicting a blowout. But man, part of me wants to just be like, that defense is just going to get after them all day, and Ohio State's going to do enough damage on offense. And part of me wants to agree with Mrs. Sanchez and say, yeah, this is going to be a blowout.
Well, the thing about it with Ohio State's defense, because we already know they've basically kind of said that they're going to throw things at Michigan defensively that they've never seen before. There's some stuff in Matt Patricia's playbook that he has yet to unleash. He hasn't have to, because they've basically been in NFL preseason Canton, Ohio in August mode for like the last 3 weeks with the schedule. But Caleb Downs is the wild card here, because he's going to allow them to do so many different things. I was listening to Urban Meyer speak on the Todd McShay podcast yesterday, and Todd was saying, he asked Urban, he goes, you've been in the game as a coach for X amount of years, national championship coach, you've owned the Michigan rivalry, your specialties coming from the offensive side of the football. If you were on the Michigan's coaching staff, how would you attack this Ohio State's defense? And Urban said he's done a lot of breakdown on Ohio State's defense on behalf of the Big Ten Network and Fox, kind of for their breakdowns for this pregame show. And he says, when you watch Ohio State's defense, the thing that makes them so great is they don't give you indicators. They don't tip you off. And he was saying at Ohio State, we will spend so much time watching the defense just to see what indicators that they give to say, okay, when they do this, they're sending this guy. When they do that, they're in this coverage. He goes, Ohio State is so disciplined in not giving any indicators. That makes it extremely difficult for the opposing offensive coaches. And he goes, it makes you sick to your stomach knowing that you can't give your young quarterback certain tips and indicators to say, hey, when they do this. So Urban said, basically, I would tell my quarterback, tape your ankles up, put a neck roll on, because we're going to run you 25 times a game. And I go, that's typical Urban for you. He goes, until they can tip their hand and we can find some indicators. If I'm Michigan, we're running Bryce Underwood. He goes, you're going to get beat up this game, but until we need to figure out what this defense is doing, because nobody has been able to really crack the code on what's going on. I thought it was hilarious. That's Urban. He's going quarterback power 25 times.
That's Urban to the core. You're right. I mean, if you said that a coach said this, guess which coach said it? For former coach, Urban Meyer said that, right? Because he's going to throw his quarterbacks to the wolves if necessary. All right. First of all, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. We're going to enjoy leftovers today, and we've got a really nice slate of college football today. Really good slate. We have Buckeye basketball tonight. They're playing at Pitt, but some really good college football today. I think there's a pretty good slate of games tomorrow. Last time I checked, too, JB. All right, let's get to our best bet of the week. Mine's going to be a game that kicks off here in about 2.5 hours.
Woo.
Yeah, more cowbell is what I'm going with. So my best bet is Mississippi State covering against Ole Miss. So Mississippi State plus 7.5 is my best bet. So many distractions. It's a rivalry game. It's at Mississippi State. I want to see more cowbell. More cowbell, more cowbell, more cowbell. And, I think Ole Miss will win, but I like that. I like getting that hook, though. I like getting that 7.5. So we'll see. I got Mississippi State plus 7.5, high noon, really 11 a.m. local time in the Egg Bowl. just too many distractions. Lane Kiffin, not flirting with LSU and Florida, and we'll see what happens. Well, what do
I'm
you
going
got,
with best bet for me. I'm going back to the Pitt. I like Pitt and Miami total over 49.5. I think this has the potential to be a high scoring affair, a track meet. They're at high noon tomorrow as well. You're looking at this Pitt team. They've been scoring points in the chunks. They put up 40-some points last week at Georgia Tech. You look at Miami's offense with Carson Beck. They're going to be able to score some points here as well. The Pitt defense is not tremendous, so they're going to give up some points, but their offense is legit. They got that freshman quarterback that they have. He is the real deal, Holyfield. And on top of that, you're talking about some ACC championship ramifications on the line with this Pitt and Miami game, depending on how things shake up. Because I think SMU's right there, probably the favorites to get to the ACC championship, them in Virginia. However, both teams need a little bit help, so they still have some hope. I like the over on this one. I could see this game potentially getting into the 60s. Both teams scoring in the 30s here, so I like the over in that matchup.
I'm going to tell you on that for sure. I like that as well. I'll be surprised if this game doesn't reach 50 in combined scores. I'd like it a little more if the game was in Miami and not in Pittsburgh, but the weather is not supposed to be bad in Pittsburgh tomorrow. They're saying 35 degrees kickoff. That's actually pretty balmy for this late in November in Pittsburgh. So 35 degrees, dry. I like that a lot, man. I like your best bet better than mine. But
last week we both hit our best bet and we parlayed. We parlayed it as we talked about that Ohio State under as well. We did Ohio State under because that 55.5 was way too high that we thought, especially with Rutgers. And then we also did the Kansas and Iowa State under 55.5. That was my best bet. And we got the bonus on top with your Stanford +3, who won outright, man. They were cooking.
I know. I should have just done Stanford money line and really made the people money. No, the Stanford was a 3.5-point dog at home. These rivalry games, man. Like when I saw Cal was favored, I'm like, okay. But yeah, I thought, I just took the point spread. You're right. I actually also took Ohio. I ended up taking Ohio State at the last minute to cover last week because I don't know what happened. So Ohio State was favored by 33.5. Then it went down to 31.5 when it was public knowledge that Jeremiah and Carnell wouldn't play. That makes sense. Thinking, okay, well, it only got knocked down 2. It's still Rutgers. People probably knew that, Vegas probably already figured they weren't going to play. So it got knocked down to 31.5. I'm like, all right. And then so we're doing our pregame show for 97.1 The Fan. I was looking at it. We're talking about it. By the time I get home, at least by the time I looked at my gambling app, it was 28.5 Ohio State. This is, probably 15 minutes before kickoff. So I did, and the over-under was down to like 53.5, I think. So I did under total, Ohio State to cover, Stanford, and then also your best bet. So I did a 4-leg parlay that ended up paying out pretty nice. So yeah, Buckeyes winning us money and winning games. We like that.
What you think about this Texas A&M at Texas? I mean, it's a tight line. It's Texas A&M by like -2 right now at night at Texas. SEC ramifications as far as the championship on the line, because if A&M loses, now you have Georgia who's going to go to the SEC championship, and Alabama still needs to beat Arbor. Surprisingly, Alabama's only like a 5.5, 6-point favorite at Arbor as well. Another extremely tight line. And here's the thing: if you follow the SEC betting, they are horrible playing on the road in other SEC environments. That was the one thing I joked about all year. It's like, what's going on with the SEC, man? You guys can't win if you're away from home. Like all of these teams just beat each other up once they get on the road. So you're talking about, as you mentioned, Ole Miss on the road, right? And you got Texas A&M on the road, Alabama on the road. It's going to be fascinating. One of these teams are going to get upset. I don't know who it's going to be. I just have a feeling one of these SEC teams, they're going to end their hopes. And if it's Alabama, what the Penn State send Kalen DeBoer to Penn State, they're trying to make a play for him.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard that as well. And now you got me even more confident about Mississippi State playing at home against Ole Miss today. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You look at Texas A&M. They've avoided all the good teams in the SEC this year so far. Not that Texas is that good. So they don't play Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama. They're going to play Texas. They don't play Oklahoma or Vanderbilt. So their toughest SEC game to date has been Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay. They actually won that game on the road 38-17. But look at the other teams they've played. Auburn, Mississippi State, Florida, Arkansas. They only beat Arkansas by 3 on the road. LSU, who's terrible. Missouri. South Carolina, they only won that game by 1, we know. And then they played Samford last week. Not Stanford, Samford. So they've played nobody in the SEC. So that will be an interesting game. I'm not impressed with Texas, but they definitely look better than what they looked when they came here for the first game of the season.
Yeah. You know, I don't do teasers a whole lot, Dave, but I'm almost tempted to do an SEC at home teaser. I mean, you think about it. You take your Mississippi State, you bump that up. Texas, make Texas like +9, and then Arbor, like make them a 2-touchdown dog. If the line is that tight, Vegas telling you that they expect that game to be a tight game. Something to think about. And then you got Georgia, and here's what I don't understand about Georgia and Georgia Tech. Why is this game at a neutral site at Mercedes-Benz? Because you remember that like 5-6 overtime game that was at Georgia last year. Like, I feel like Georgia going over there to Bobby Dodd at Georgia Tech Stadium and play them boys fair and square on their turf. Like, it should be a home and home. It shouldn't be, we play at Georgia, then we're going to play at Atlanta on the neutral site. Like, nah, going over there and get you some of that home field at Bobby Dodd.
That's on Tech, though. That's on Georgia Tech. The game was scheduled at Georgia Tech, and then they were offered $10 million, which that's a lot of money. But like, it's almost like in college football. Is that much money? Is it worth giving up the home game? They were offered $10 million to play that. They get the entire. They don't have to split it with Georgia. They get the $10 million for that game to be played at the Benzo, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't like that at all. I know like Georgia Tech probably feels like, hey, $10 million. We're still playing in Atlanta. It's like, yeah, but you're playing against Georgia. You should have been playing them at your home field outdoors. I don't like that at all. For $10 million, if you gave them $100 million, okay, or 50, $10 million, I don't know. I don't like it.
Right. Because if you think about it, if Georgia Tech would have won, if they'd have beat Pitt last week, Georgia Tech would have been in the ACC. ACC championship. They still wouldn't have been a lot to get in. However, if you go into that game with a Georgia win under your belt, and it would have helped a whole lot more if they'd have had that game at home. So if you would have had 11-1 Georgia Tech going into the ACC championship with a win against Georgia under your resume, that right there would have helped them significantly, regardless of what would have happened in the ACC championship. But I don't know. I thought it was weird. But you're right. Money speaks. So what other big games we got this weekend?
Got a lot. I was just looking at the schedule. There's so much.
Oregon at Washington. What are you thinking about that?
Yeah, that's another rivalry game. I mean, I know traditionally their rivals are their in-state rivals, but like they're big time rivals now, being like the two teams from the Pacific Northwest in the Big Ten. Yeah, I mean, and we know Washington, even though Ohio State took care of business in that game, we know that's a tough place to play. And Oregon's they've taken care of business. They're 10-1. They're number 6 in the country, but they have not looked great by any means. Yeah, I could see Washington winning that game. If I had to bet, I think Oregon will win straight up, but I bet that'll be a close game.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow.
And Washington has had their number for quite a bit of time. I mean, Oregon, they got the monkey off their back last year, but Washington, for the most part, they always play Oregon tough. Like, that's the beauty about this week. You never know what's going to happen when it comes to that. Hey, Lou Fickle's on a little heater, huh?
How about that? He got his vote of confidence, and it's like, what are you doing giving him a vote of confidence? Then bam, he's like running off a 2-game winning streak. Good job, Luke.
I know it. They got Minnesota at home. He might finish strong with 3 wins. For this Ohio State Michigan game, who do you think the key is for Ohio State as far as offense, defense? who's your key that you think needs to have a big game for them to come home with this victory with the gold pants?
Yeah, I think that right side of the offensive line. If I just had to pick one, it'd be Tegra. But I guess if he's not playing well, they'll just put Gabe Van Sickle in there. He's been playing well.
Yeah.
Philip Daniels, just that right side of the line. I'm confident the left side of the line and Hinsman they're going to play well. Saraveld is just Austin Saraveld is one of those guys we all know how valuable he is, how great he is. It's almost like we don't talk about it enough. This is a guy as a redshirt freshman, as we know, started the first 2 games of the season last year when Donovan Jackson was a little banged up. He started the first 2 games at left guard. Then he was bouncing back left guard, right guard, then just rotating at right guard. And then when eventually when Donovan had to kick out to left tackle because of all the injuries, he's playing left guard, right guard. Played really well as a redshirt freshman. Iron Buckeye in the offseason twice. Named captain as a third-year sophomore. Supposed to be moved to right tackle. Oh, how about you move to left tackle instead? Austin Saraveld just gives me a lot of confidence. So does Luke Montgomery. So does Carson Hinsman. The right side of the line, I was impressed with Philip Daniels earlier in the year. Not as much now, but I still believe in him. But that right side of the line, you can't have Michigan just do whatever they want on that right side of the line. So that's my X factor is the right side of the line. And I also think we mentioned this earlier. I think, what they're going to do on defense, some of the new things they're going to do. I was going to say Bryce West was going to play a big role, but the more I think about it, I don't think he will because I don't think they're going to use a nickelback as much as they typically will because they're going to be using Peyton Pierce out there with 3 linebacker sets. He'll mix it up. There's no doubt about they're going to have some 5-6 DB sets out there. But, yeah, man, I'll go with – you tell me the right side of the offensive line plays well. So this game's going to be won in the trenches. I'll say Ohio State's going to win that game. So, yeah, I'll say Tegra if I had to pick just one guy. What about you?
Yeah, a lot of people in the chat, they're saying Max Clare on offense. That's the one that I'm going to go with. And here's the reason why. Michigan last year, they did more of an umbrella coverage to try to slow down JJ. So they had safety help over top. They refused to guard him man-to-man. So if you have help over the top to try to slow down these wide receivers, now that should open it up right in the middle for Max Clare to be able to feast. So he needs to be able to sit down in those zones. And if you're talking about having to guard Max Clare one-on-one with a linebacker, I like Ohio State's chances to win those type of one-on-one matchups. Max Clare versus one of their linebackers. And you think about it, out of all the years that we've gone into this game, Dave, Ohio State has never had a tight end weapon like Max Clare to kind of counteract what Wink Martindale's going to throw at them. So if they want to be able to roll those safeties deep to try to slow down the passing attack with Jeremiah, and I think Carnell's going to play, then that's going to open it up quite a bit for Max Clare. This is why you brought him here. He's starting to get on the heater, had over 100 yards the last game. If he can continue this type of momentum, I think he has the potential to have a really, really big game. I'm talking about maybe like 6, 7, 8 catch type of game for Max Clare. On the defensive side of the football, we know that Michigan, they're going to, regardless, they're going to run that football, and they can run it up into a wall as long as possible. Their theory and their mindset is eventually we're going to break one. Because if you look at the game last year, Ohio State pretty much bottled up that run game. The one that really killed them was they had Mullins tied up in the backfield, and he broke out for like that 22, 26-yard run. And it was one of those situations to where that right there was the ball game because they were basically able to milk the clock. So they're going to do that. They're not going to put their young quarterback in harm's way, I don't think. I think they're going to try to run up the middle and test it. So for me, K-Mac, if he is dominant in the middle, he is collapsing that interior of Michigan's offensive line. And here's another thing. This is a very, very young Michigan line. A lot of freshmen, a lot of redshirt freshmen on that front. This is an opportunity for this Ohio State veterans to really go to work. Caden Curry, Kenyatta Jackson, K-Mac. It's go time now. Like the time is now for you guys to get these gold pens, and it's going to start up front with those guys because if they are keeping Arvell and Sonny clean and not allowing that Michigan offensive line to get to the second level, then they should have no problem bottling up that Michigan run game. So my two guys, Max Clare and K-Mac on the defensive side of the ball.
I love it. I love it. We're T-minus about 26 hours away from kick. A little more than 26 hours away as we do the live show. A lot of people will be listening to the show, and it'll be less than 24 hours away. So hopefully we're talking about an Ohio State win tomorrow on What We Learned Live. Mr. Jonah Booker, thank you very much. I appreciate it as always on BTA Fridays, sir. Good luck to your bets. Good luck to our Buckeyes. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving with your family. Hope you enjoy the football today, sir.
Hey, I'm nervous, Dave, but I'm confident. I'm nervous, but I'm confident. Like, no matter how good both teams are, I always have the butterflies going into the Michigan game, but I have confidence that this team is going to get it done.
One of my favorite sports phrases, and it's getting a lot of a lot of people use it now. Billie Jean King, I think, is the one that came up with it. Pressure is a privilege, right? Yeah. Pressure is a privilege. Like, you can look at it like, oh, pressure. It's like, yeah, but it's like you don't have any pressure. You're not playing for anything. You're not playing for anything. Like, Purdue doesn't have any pressure today against Indiana. Like, they're expected to get their butts kicked. Like, right. Ohio State has pressure. Michigan has pressure. Pressure is a privilege. Look at it that way. And Ryan Day has said that before. He uses that phrase a lot. He credits Urban for starting it. I'm like, yeah, it's actually Billie Jean King, but Urban, yeah, whatever. All right, man. I appreciate it as always, Jonah. You put butts in the seats, my friend.
Talk to you later, man. You have a good Friday on your bets.
You too as well. Thank you, sir. All right, Jonah Booker. Hopefully, we'll be talking about an Ohio State win. I don't know if he'll be available for the post-game show, but I will definitely ask if Jay Book can join us for the post-game show tomorrow. Guys, I really want to do a What We Learned Live following an Ohio State-Michigan win. I believe we launched What We Learned Live. It was either 01 or 21 or 22. I think it was 22. I think I've done 3 shows so far after Ohio State-Michigan games. And after Ohio State just absolutely dominating this whole century, of course, we start What We Learned Live. No, we're not acting like that was because, hey, we're still basking. Won the national championship, right? It's funny. They won the national championship when you went to the Bucknuts Morning 5, when we went from Front Row Radio to Bucknuts Morning 5. Was it the next year they won the national championship in 14? Something like that. When we transitioned our podcast, Front Row Radio, into Bucknuts Morning 5, we didn't know what the podcasts were. We called it internet radio until we went with the Bucknuts Morning 5. And the Buckeyes won the national championship the next year in 2014. Bam. So we'll actually take credit for the national championships and not take any blame for the losses to Michigan. But seriously, I want to I've covered plenty of wins over Michigan over the years, plenty of times in the press box at both places. But I want to sit here for the first time and do a post-game show, What We Learned Live, with Ohio State winning this football game. Winning, I think it's going to happen. Every time I get a little trepidation, I think about pressure is a privilege quote, but I also think about this defense. I mean, there'll be the best unit on the field by far on either side. They're the best unit in the country, like I was saying earlier. Not just the best defense, the best unit on either side of the ball in the entire country. Well coached, loaded with talent. They're hungry. Michigan's a one-dimensional offense. I think Ohio State's going to win this game with their defense. Offense has to do their job. Like Jay Book said, I completely agree with this. Pretty much agree with everything Jay Book says. But, I mean, you draw that line at 20. If Ohio State scores 20, they're winning this game. Okay? You could even argue if Ohio State scores 17, they're definitely winning this game. I don't see Michigan being able to score more than 13, 14 points. And I feel like I was being generous giving them 13. But it's the game. They'll have some things Ohio State hasn't seen. 13 still isn't that many points. If Ohio State holds them to 13, they're going to win. I know what happened last year to 13. But if Ohio State gets to 20 points, there's no way, in my opinion, that Michigan is getting 20 points on this defense. Now, maybe, if special teams happen or turnovers, whatever, but just against this defense, not happening. So get to that 20-point marker, like Jay Book said, and lights out. Get a 2-score lead if you're Ohio State in the first half, in my opinion, lights out. So, and then Ohio State gets some confidence. Michigan starts having to press a little bit, go out of their game. They can't just run the ball, run clock if you're down by 10 points or 14 points. You're going to start to get out of your comfort zone. So that'd be great. If Ohio State can get an early lead, we can all maybe relax a little bit instead of just being on pins and needles for 3.5 hours. It'd be nice to get a nice early lead and be able to, not coast to victory, but not have quite the nerves that we normally would. All right, I'll be with you tomorrow after the game, What We Learned Live. Thanks to Jay Book. Thanks to all of you. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you enjoyed the leftovers today and more football. Great day of NFL football yesterday. Now we got great slate of college football today, all day too, throughout to the late night. starting at noon, going all the way till like past midnight. And then, yeah, and then tomorrow there's some big games too. All right. Thanks again to Jay Book. Thanks to all of you. I appreciate it very much. I know you're still basking, and you'll still be basking tomorrow after the game. Go Bucks.